Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I'm Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 3-day per week, 12 Minutes of Wisdom podcast. This is day 378 of our trek, and today is Motivation Monday. Every Monday, we will provide a shot of motivation to encourage and inspire you to make a great week. Today, we will finish up a 2-part exploration of a guide to motivation. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. We did have an extremely busy weekend of restoration work. All the woodwork and floors that we had planned to refinish at this time are completed. We are also making progress on the exterior painting and hope to finish it up by Wednesday. There are some other miscellaneous projects that we desire to complete this week, but they may have to wait until later. Before the start of the reunion, I do hope to get a video capture of the renovations that we have completed so far. Some of our Wisdom Trek and client projects have been delayed until the middle of July when we return from the Podcast Movement Conference. Our focus on the renovations, the Chamberlain reunion, and the conference, where I will be speaking, has consumed most of our time this month. Since the conference is focused on podcasting, I am sure that we'll be highly motivated to make good progress when we return from Chicago on July 9th. As we think about motivation, let's head out on our second segment of our trek today and explore the 20 ways to sustain motivation when you are struggling to do so. The second half of our guide to motivation explores how to keep yourself going when you don't feel the same excitement as you did in the beginning. Perhaps something new has come into your life, and your old goal isn't as much of a priority anymore. Perhaps you skipped a day or two, and now you just can't get back into it. Perhaps you screwed up and got discouraged. If you can find that excitement again and keep going, you'll eventually get there, but if you give up, you just won't. It is your choice. Accomplish the goal or to quit. Here are 20 tips to assist you in reaching your goals. The first one is to hold yourself back. As an example, when you start a new exercise program, or any goal really, you are full of excitement and your enthusiasm knows no boundaries. You may think you can do anything, but it's not long before you learn that you do have limitations and your enthusiasm begins to wane. One lesson to learn and sustain motivation is, even if you have a lot of energy at the beginning of the program and you want to go all out, hold yourself back slightly. Remember that any goal worth achieving will be best accomplished over an extended period of time. Don't let yourself do everything you want to do immediately. Plan out a sensible course of action where you slowly increase over time. For example, if you want to go running, you might think that you can run 3 miles at first. But instead of letting yourself do that, start out by only running a mile. And when you're running that mile, you may tell yourself that you can do more, but don't. After the workout, you'll be looking forward to the next workout, where you'll be able to run 1.5 miles. Keep that energy reined in just slightly. Harness it so that you can run even further long term. The second tip is to just start. There are some days when you don't feel like heading out the door for a run, or figuring out your budget, or whatever it is that you're supposed to do that day for your goal. Instead of thinking about how hard it is and how long it will take, tell yourself to just start. I personally have a practice where I lay out all my exercise clothes the night before so that they are ready for me when I get up. It is the start that is the most difficult time. Once you start, it is never as hard as you thought it would be. This tip works for me every time. The third tip is to stay accountable. Commit yourself publicly through an online forum, on a blog, in an email, or in person. Stay accountable to a group of people. Report back to them daily or weekly and stick to it. That accountability will help because you don't want to report that you have failed. The fourth tip is to squash negative thoughts and replace them with positive ones. This is one of the most important motivational skills, and I suggest that you practice it each day. It is important to start monitoring your thoughts and recognize negative self-talk. Invest a few days to become aware of every negative thought, then squash those negative thoughts like you would a bug, and replace them with a corresponding positive thought. This step is imperative. Tip number 5, think about the benefits. Overemphasizing how difficult a task is needs to be replaced by the benefits of completing it. For example, instead of thinking about how difficult it is to wake up early, focus on how good you'll feel when you are done exercising and how your day will be just so much better. The benefits of something will help to energize you. Tip number 6, get excited again. Think about why you lost your excitement, and then think about why you were excited in the first place. Can you get back to that? What made you want to do this goal? What made you passionate about it? Try to build it up again, refocus yourself, and get energized. Tip number 7, read about it. When you lose motivation, read a book or blog about your goal. This will help to inspire and reinvigorate. Reading helps you to motivate and focus on whatever you're reading about. So read about your goal every day if you can, especially when you're not feeling very motivated. Tip number 8. Find like-minded friends. Staying motivated on your own is tough, but find someone with similar goals such as running, dieting, or finances and see if they'd like to partner with you. Or partner with your spouse, a sibling, or a best friend on whatever goals that they're trying to achieve. You don't have to be going after the same goals as long as you're both pushing and encouraging each other to succeed. Other good options are groups in the area, like a running club or an online forum where you can find people to talk about your goals. Tip number 9. Read inspiring stories. Inspiration for me comes from others who have achieved what I want to achieve or who are currently doing it. Stories are just one place for inspiration, not only for me but for many people who have achieved amazing things. Read success stories of others to inspire yourself. Tip number 10. Build on your successes. Every little step along your way is a success. Celebrate every milestone. Then take that successful feeling and build on it with another baby step. With each step, and each step should last about a week, you will feel even more successful. Make each step small and you won't fail. After a couple months, your small steps will add up to a lot of progress and a lot of success. Tip number 11. Just get through those low points. Motivation is not a constant thing that is always there for you. It comes and goes again, like the tide. But realize that while it may go away, it does not do so permanently. It will come back. Just stick it out and wait for that motivation to come back. In the meantime, read about your goal, ask for help, and do some other things listed here until your motivation does come back. Tip number 12. Get some help. It's hard to accomplish something alone. Find someone who has already completed the goal that you desire and ask them to help you. Find your support network, either in the real world or online, or both. Tip number 13. Chart your progress. This can be as simple as marking an X on the calendar or creating a simple spreadsheet or logging your progress using your life plan blueprint. It can be vastly rewarding to look back on your progress and see just how far you've come, and it can help you to keep going. You should be able to check off your progress nearly every day. And don't let a few mistakes now and then stop you from continuing. Strive instead to complete it the next day. Tip number 14. Reward yourself often. For every milestone along the way, celebrate your success and give yourself a reward. Create an appropriate reward for the size of the milestone. Tip number 15. Go for many goals. Sometimes large and longer-term goals can be overwhelming. After a couple weeks, you may lose your motivation because you still have several months or a year or more to accomplish that goal. It is hard to maintain motivation for a single goal for such a long period of time. Your life plan blueprint does break everything down into weekly tasks and daily to-dos. Tip number 16. Get a coach or take a class. These will motivate you to at least show up and to take action. It can be applied to any goal. This might be one of the more expensive ways to motivate yourself, but it can work. It is proven that we are more likely to stick with something if we invest money into it. Tip number 17. Never skip 2 days in a row. This rule does take into account our natural tendency to miss a day now and then. We are not perfect, so if you do miss one day, and now the second day is upon you and you're feeling lazy, tell yourself no. You will not miss 2 days in a row. Tip number 18. Use visualization. Visualize your successful outcome in great detail. Close your eyes. Think about exactly how your successful outcome will look and feel, will taste and smell and sound like. Where are you when you become successful? How do you look? What are you wearing? Form as clear a mental picture as possible. Now here's the next key. Do it every day for at least a few minutes each day. This is the only way that you can keep motivation going over a long period of time. Tip number 19. Be aware of the urges to quit and overcome them. We all have urges to stop, but they are mostly unconscious. One of the most powerful things that you can do is to start being more conscious of those urges. A good exercise is to go through each day with a little piece of paper and put a tally mark for each time you get an urge to quit. Pre-plan on how you will respond so that you can overcome your urge to quit with a strong reason to continue. Tip number 20. Find pleasure again. It is difficult to continue on if you find your task unpleasant. Choose to enjoy your task, to have fun, to find joy in the journey. Think about the long-term benefits and how they outweigh the short-term desire to quit. We are continued to continue on in the book of Hebrews, chapter 12, verses 11 through 13. No discipline is enjoyable while it is happening. It's painful. But afterwards there will be a peaceful harvest of right living for those who have been trained in this way. So take a new grip with your tired hands and strengthen your weak knees. Mark out the straight path for your feet so that those who are weak and lame will not fall but become strong. So we have come to the end of our two-part trek on A Guide to Motivation. Let us learn and apply these instructions to our daily lives. Our next trek will be Wisdom Wednesday, where we will dig for the nuggets of wisdom found in Proverbs chapter 13. So encourage your friends and family to join us, and then come along with us on Wednesday for another day of Wisdom Trek, Creating a Legacy. That will finish our trek for today. Just as you enjoy these doses of wisdom, we ask you to help us to grow Wisdom Trek by sharing it with your family and friends through email, Facebook, Twitter, or in person when you meet with them, and invite them to come along with us for each trek. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. And don't forget to subscribe to Wisdom Trek so that each trek will be downloaded to you automatically. I would like to also ask you to rate and review us at iTunes or Google Play so that others will find out about Wisdom Trek and join us. The journal for today's trek is available at wisdom-trek.com. Thank you for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal. As we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and leave a living legacy each day. This is Guthrie Chamberlain reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you on Wednesday.